Hello everyone, my name is Xmat. I am your host for this Capsule cast, and I am joined here today by my co-host.
Hello, I am Destiny, and I am the new coach for cinema.
Yes, we've got our new cinema coach, and we're joined with a very special guest.
Okay, I'm not that special, but hi. My name is Tosh or Tosh, whatever. I'm coach at Rugrats and I'm staff member as
It's
well.
always special when the manager comes to town. So yeah, how are you guys? Are you all doing good or?
Doing all right.
Or I'm doing good, but I know we don't usually ask this, but we can, ask the people obviously. Like, how was their off season? Are they excited for what's coming in season 2023? Have everyone got their plans laid out? Everyone hoping to win?
Everyone best be hoping to win, because if they're not hoping to win, they're about to come down to me, bro. Um, so yeah, I hope everyone had a good off season, and yeah, want to get into the first match, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, that's fine for me.
Right, cool. So we had Derp versus RW. So to start with, we had um, Ginyu versus Tien, and Ginyu killed Tien, and Marjib comes in, Ginyu tags, and then it's Herc versus Marjib. And I don't know if you guys remember this, but Herc basically he starts out does his I think he does his rush, not the present bomb, the dynamic mess him up punch,
Hmm.
and he kind of like hits Marjib down to pretty much half health, gets him quite low, and then Marjib just does like a Marjib does Marjib things, and he just turns it completely around, kills Herc. Ginyu comes back in, finishes Marjib off. Um, then the surprise man of the match, in my opinion, Yamcha comes in and he kills Ginyu, does some damage to Bobby, who comes in after Ginyu, right? And
Hmm.
then Bobby, I think, does a bit of damage to Yamcha before he tags out again on his Yajirobe tech AI. We all know we
Shut
love
up.
the best AI. And then Tapion comes in, big boy, free agent for. Oh wait, not free agent. What am I doing? What am I lying about?
He is
No, it
free
is a free
agent.
agent.
He is a
I'm
free agent.
lying. It's just because RW had him the other season, and he was a free agent. So it's like return to sender. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah. Uh, so Barbady comes in and does 50k across both Tapion and Yamcha because they tag between each other.
Hmm.
But that's not enough because Tapion and Yamcha destroy. Mainly Yamcha. This is why I said he was man of the match. He destroys Solza. Solza comes in. I think Solza does like maybe 5k, but he gets destroyed. And yeah, um, that is how the match ended. I think
Oh, we also had a transformation. That
Harudagan,
was nice.
he
Yeah.
shut down Bobby.
Well, well, kind of completely. Bobby can still rush blast and still ult, but he can't do his
He
B2s
can't do his
or grab.
B2s or grab yet, which is a large part of his game. Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much the synopsis of that
No,
match. But what thoughts on either of the teams?
uh, set. I think this was a pretty good showing by RW. Derp maybe still has to get a little kinks going around. I mean, it is the first week of preseason. People might still be testing,
Hmm.
but it is nice to get our first Harudion transformation of the season literally in the first week of the preseason.
I'm glad we're
But
not waiting for like weeks and
yeah, like
weeks.
last year. but we do have to also say this: for the first time since the league has changed before 2020, we get to see Babidi on a match for whichever team he's on. He's always been picked up as an FA. He's just never been used until this week.
And he did well, despite he didn't kill anyone, but he did from
He did a fair amount of rush blasts and all that stuff, and definitely tried spamming his heart out. But from what I saw, like I think he got blocked a good amount of times.
He got blocked
It
a
also
lot.
didn't help with the Harudegun transformation.
That did not help at the end, no. Definitely not.
But I think there definitely could have had this if Salza just didn't get blasted through so fast.
I think Souls are getting blasted through and like Herc losing momentum because he had the advantage over Marju for a while, but then he just sort of lost momentum. It's like he stopped spamming for a bit and then allowed Marju to get a bit back in the game. So
Yep.
I will say two people that I did not expect to go crazy. Well, that you would think that wouldn't go crazy is Yamcha and Ginyu.
they were both
I feel like
insane.
they were like the star players for both of those teams there. Ginyu, I feel Ginyu was a good addition for Derp over Kui, definitely. And then I was kind of iffy on because so for people that don't know, RW and ED they did a loan with each other, where I think RW gave them N Vegeta and Yajirobe, and RW received Tien and Yamcha as we saw in this match. So I was kind of iffy on it, but ED did have Yamcha looking kind of scary in testing and everything, and I do remember that.
Oh,
So,
Tien's Tien.
yeah,
Tien
Tien's
is Tien, yeah.
I think he was also on a different build.
He is.
Yeah.
He's on key instead of defense. What was you going to say, Destiny? Sorry, carry on.
I was just gonna ask. Is that the first like actually 2-person loan that we've had? Like 2 people go away in one loan.
I
think so.
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess now anything's possible. Wait until the 3 people loan.
3 people loan.
Wait until you loan your entire team.
Budokai and ED could probably do that. I don't know if it's like 100% possible, but I feel like
honestly, RW and ED probably could do that.
Yeah.
Except for Midku. Midku can't go anywhere.
Midku's stuck. Midku trapped. Right.
Yeah,
Do you have any closing thoughts, or is that everything you wanted to talk about with this match?
I think Tosh had something.
Oh no. Just happy to see Rugrats and everything. Great display from both teams. So yeah.
Oh, I do just want to say, for people that are obviously looking at the Derp banner, but seeing different characters on the screen here, not all the banners were done by the time of this recording, so we don't have Derps nor Royals yet. We'll have them next week. Don't worry.
Okay. So I think that's everything. So do we want to move on to the next match?
Fine with me.
Cool. So we have Namek versus Hybrids. Now this one kicked off with a doozy. So we had Late Piccolo versus Ultimate Gohan, which, I mean, the outcome was surprising because, to be honest, I thought it would just literally end up being like almost a stalemate, and maybe the one would beat the other by 5k or something. But it actually ended up being so Late Piccolo got a heavy lead, and then Ultimate Gohan just bursted him down and finished him off quite quickly, which left Ultimate Gohan with about 20k. And then King Piccolo stepped on the field and surprisingly just bursted Ultimate Gohan down before he could do anything. But that's kind of where the spell of good ends for Namek, because after that it sort of goes just downhill very quickly. So King Piccolo gets beat up very badly by Trunks and killed basically, and then Pycon comes in, struggles against Trunks, but does kill him in the end. And then Teen just comes in, wraps up Pycon, does most of Nail, and then Future Gohan tags back in and does like 10k. So his stats rip Future Gohan stats. His stats are dead. And yeah, that's how the match ended. So not a great showing for Namek because they pretty much lost by a character. But again, it's pre-season, so testing things out and stuff. And they didn't have Nuova in, who's probably one of their best. So yeah, thoughts on this match? Destiny, we'll go to you first.
So honestly, the start was not what I expected at all because even though I know Ultimate Gohan is like Ultimate Gohan, Light Piccolo, these are always like top 5, maybe top 3 characters in the league. The last time I saw them fight each other, Light Piccolo just utterly dominated Ultimate Gohan, and I think it would have been that way if it wasn't for the fact of Ultimate Gohan wild sensed at the right time for Piccolo's ult. Which was actually going to hit if he didn't wild sense. For a lot of damage.
Yeah, that ult, it's unfortunate because it does do a lot of damage, but feels like it can be more easily dodged. And I mean, having a wild sense obviously is a pretty good way of doing it.
We also saw a little bit of Gohan's cocky side because he taunted. In the process of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gohan
he did a whole wild sense and stood behind Late Piccolo and just like did the whole come here thing.
How could he do that to his mentor, straight father figure? It's just rude, really. Cannot believe it.
Actually, I do want to say this. I know we're a little bit late because preseason started late, but last week had Piccolo Day, so happy Piccolo Day.
Happy Piccolo Day.
But we also had Goku, Goten, and Gohan Day, right?
That is true. That is true.
Yeah, the 9th, I think 9th, 10th, and 11th are those 3.
Yep. So a lot of days.
The problem is Frieza Day is always when the league ends on the 25th of December, as everyone knows. Lord Frieza Day.
No.
Yep. Anyway, back to the match. I think that I think I'm honestly surprised with how well Trunks did. I know he's a very good character, but he seemed in this match, what I remember from what I wrote down, he did a lot. Really, it was a lot of quick bursts. I think Trunks for me, for hybrids, was probably their best this match. Which again, that does surprise me. So.
Oh yeah, no, I had to completely agree. Excuse me, I had to completely agree with you there because Sword Trunks kind of did pop off. What is it? Team Gohan did fine and everything, but I don't know. It was something about how much Sword Trunks was spamming and everything that I forgot what build. I guess they have them on a super build.
If it's anything from last season,
Super
Super
1, Indignation, Fighting Spirit, Savior, Dragon Spirit, UIO. Yeah, nah.
Oh, actually,
I really want to see one thing, and I know it's for the better for them right now because base Sword Trunks is just better. I really just want to really see a season of him being able to either transform to Super Saiyan and do well or start to Super Saiyan because that form, I really like that form. But it never works out, apparently.
I know they tested it a little bit. I don't know if it was this off-season or last off-season, but yeah, like you say, it doesn't seem to ever work out, and they always end up going back to base. So back to basics.
Better start writing up them Sword Trunks apology forms again.
Once again, back at it
but
again.
I will say, at least for those watching who haven't seen the stream, which I'm pretty sure you should have at least seen the stream or the episodes before this comes out. When you may have heard something new of UIO. That is one of the new Pataras introduced this past off season, and we get to see it here with Trunks,
Yeah,
which
it's
uh,
good to see teams using the new Pataras, which I mean it's helpful. I'm sure I'm sure Tosh and all the other staff love to see it, especially because
mm,
all the hard work's paying off. Really having these new Pataras in, and
mhm.
I mean it worked. It worked for him. I mean
It did.
that's the other
It did
good
work.
thing.
Oh yeah.
It's not like it didn't work. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Also, I'm pretty sure there was a nice combo with. I don't remember who was before it, but to end the match, someone did like a knockback in tag to Future Gohan,
Oh, it would have been
and
team.
Future Gohan did his light grenade like B2 to
Oh
finish off the match.
yes, yeah.
Really good combo.
Right. Well, has anyone got any more thoughts about this match, or shall we move on?
Uh,
Yeah, match 4, Kaiju versus Sentai. Yeah.
actually, I just want to say one
Actually,
thing.
you want
It's
to say one thing? Hold on.
it's funny that PyCon's on Namek.
Oh God, yeah.
For the longest, I
You know,
actually thought he was in the Namekian, to be honest.
I'm pretty sure you're not the first one. You're not
No,
going to be last.
you are not.
But anyway, shall we move on to my favorite match?
Yeah, we'll move on to match
Yeah, match
3.
4.
Match 3. A new foe has appeared, and I think that the foe. You know what? I've explained all the other matches. I think I'll leave one of you two to run through these matches because you guys know the best. You guys watch these matches so more than like anyone else probably, and remember them. So
Yeah, see? You can
ooh.
do the honors. I will fact check you too. Make sure you
Good,
say
because
anything right.
I don't remember. I don't remember this match completely.
Okay. So,
I do know who started though,
okay, go ahead.
and who ended. So we have Super Saiyan 3 GT Goku versus my boy. He's back. He's coming back with the sauce, with everything he got, with Turles just beating up GT Goku. Relatively even though, but GT Goku being a coward and tagging the Devil Man, not staying in.
To be fair, go ahead. Actually, no, go ahead. Continue your analysis and everything. The little summary.
And then we get this, and maybe Turles goes down, sure, but then comes in Raditz on a different build than what most people had him on. Most people have him on more like tankier build or something like that.
We
I know you
tested
guys
defense,
did last year.
defense. Yeah, pretty much.
But no, y'all doing it wrong. It's about going and giving him that B2 power. It's just and like when he does this headbutt B2, you want his headbutt to hurt. And I can tell you that it did hurt because Devilman died.
He did.
And then I don't remember the rest of the match until Garlic versus Aurelia, and Garlic transformed when Aurelia was literally 1 health. So
I can fill the
So
blanks
it
in if you
was.
want. Or
So it
Tosh will.
was. It ended up being after Devilman, it was Cell Jr. versus the rest of Raditz. He takes out Raditz relatively easy for the most part. I think only losing half a bar. Then it was Gogeta versus Cell Jr. And we had the most unfortunate setup ever. Special Beam Cannon lost to Big Bang Kamehameha, the 1v2 that he ever lose to. They happen to go against each other. And yeah. So Cell Jr. goes down and everything, but takes Gogeta down to about 20k. GT Goku comes back in, gets decimated by Gogeta real quick and everything. And then there's a Rayleigh finish. She takes out Gogeta with a 18k ult. And then it's even, and it ends up being Garlic versus Aurelia, which for the most part, Garlic was in control. Aurelia almost brought it back. Almost getting him down to 20k, and then on the last bar, she got him down to a bar and a half, and he transforms, gets that 5k back to get back up to 20k, and finishes Aurelia off. He got style points because he transformed right before he killed her. So yeah.
It was like, I'm not actually a small child. I am big.
Overall, it was a pretty good match and everything. Good showings on both sides for the most part. From what I just skimmed through the match and everything, but like I gotta say, to be honest with you, at first I thought GT Goku had it for the most part, but to start off with Turles, but Turles ended up bringing it back. That defense -2 on GT Goku versus what y'all had him on attack 2 for Turles.
We had, yeah.
Yeah, no, that wasn't doing it for us. That wasn't doing it at all. The only, I guess, quote unquote defense was EL on Goku. So,
Yeah. You guys gotta watch out. The Fruit Master's coming, and he's coming to town.
overall, I feel like everyone did close to their 40k. I think on both sides, maybe except for I think GT Goku. I know definitely did like maybe 35k, 30 to 35k.
Turles did his 40k.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were like the only three that were like skeptical. Were those?
So yeah, everyone on Cinema definitely did their 40k. We were hoping on our end, we of course we wanted to get more testing for Devilman, but we are hoping that y'all will have Janemba in or something, because you know you gotta have that Devilmite beam. But like now y'all benched him.
To be fair, the Downlight Beam would have worked decently against most of Cinema, so...
I will say it probably would have been a much different match if Garlic did not punch Aurelia out of her ping.
I mean, true. It also would have been a more different...
strike protection. Sorry, carry on.
If it would have also been a more different match if Aurelia didn't instantly ult Gogeta and just did like B2s or something.
I mean, that's his fault for using finish sign.
Actually, it's Soul Furnace.
So whatever you get.
I know. I'm
But no, it was a good match overall, and also we get to see a new map and everything. Rugrats. We chose Archipelagos as our home map, and it's one of the newer, the only modded new map I think for the season. So yeah.
What a joy! The new map, and guess who's the architect of that map? It's Gogeta. Mr. Eat Rocks.
Yeah, I remember that. But yeah, no, we get to see some other new stars. You get to see UIO again and everything on Aurelia. I know like Cell Jr. had Demonic Bargain. I don't know if y'all use. I know y'all use like different ones on your end. Like you guys took advantage of. We both did of Dragon Spirit now being one cost.
Yep, we did. We did indeed, and we also put Rush Blast 3 on Gogeta. But that might just be new to people because like no one ever uses it.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I don't have much to say. It was like I said, it was a pretty good match overall. I'm not too upset. It was a close one. You never know how this will go. This is technically a divisional, and all.
And both teams like quote unquote best two characters were not in.
Goten and Trunks were out for us, and Janemba and Bosch are out for Cinema. So yeah. So be on the lookout because this could be a very different outlook.
And
also,
and you know, we can get to the boost when actual divisionals pop up.
Oh yeah. Xmat, you didn't. Well, we didn't really allow you to talk that much during that one.
Oh no, I wanted to see. I wanted to see you guys just go at it and like have your talk, your banter and everything. So, I wanted you get it all off your chest, right? So basically, I was very impressed by Garlic. It looked like a return to 2020 level form. Like going against a Rayleigh, who I think most and pretty much everyone would consider the demon child of the league, because she is. And actually just winning outright, I did not expect. So, and doing it quite comfortably as well. It wasn't like he was struggling really hard or anything. He did it pretty well, especially with the transformation at the end. So I'm very impressed with that. I'm impressed with you getting Raditz to work. We always love to see Raditz working. You know, paper mache or Raditz. It looks like Raditz is coming out on top.
Well, here's what you had to do. You had to put him on Super, and you had to put him on your favorite AI, bro.
Well, you're proving me wrong, so thank you for giving me a build idea for next season when we take him. Thank you.
Yeah, don't worry. It works really well with Paper Raditz, even though it doesn't matter for my team, because my team will just cut through
it. But yeah, so for Cinema, that's who I was mainly impressed with. For Rugrats, I was very impressed with Cell Jr. yet again, Tosh, because that man in testing, and that man, it's still continuing. He's just a little menace this season. So very impressed with him. Devilman actually did surprisingly fairly well. I wouldn't say he did great, but considering who he was going against, because he went up against Turles to start with, didn't he? It was Turles at first. So
he used a B2 to take out Turles instantly.
Yeah, so he did pretty well. Not fantastic, but not terrible. And yeah, the only thing that wasn't great was a Rayleigh, but that can happen. It's just like a one-off, so just one of them. But yeah,
Rayleigh still did her 40K.
Oh well, yeah.
I mean, that all certainly helps. But
I mean, I would hope Super Plus 2 and Focus Shot. Why? Come on.
I do want to say a couple things. We actually got to see this match a pretty interesting interaction that not actually a lot of people in the league know off right away. I'm pretty sure we went in person. Tosh, you went and personally tested it against some characters, but we got to see the only D2 that can beat Special Beam Cannon.
Yeah, Tosh was upset about that earlier. He was saying about how upset he was.
That happened. It happened.
No, Tosh just salty you lost.
Huh? Oh, I don't care. It's
Preseason. It doesn't matter.
I know, but I got throwing some banter, you know.
Listen,
the biggest cope.
Actually, no, I take it back. I haven't beat y'all all season, every season. I beat y'all the majority of y'all seasons, so that's all that matters.
And you beat me in a majority of my tests.
Yes, I have.
Because of fucking Trunks.
Hey.
He wasn't in there, but that's why they're reserving him. They were saving him for the main season. So, are you guys ready to move on, or any closing thoughts?
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready. Yeah.
Cool. Right. So next we have Kaiju versus Sentai Squad. Now this match was very interesting. There was a lot of tagging. So it starts off with Kidku against Sailwoman, and Kidku, who has recently been picked up by Kaiju this season because Budokai dropped him for early Piccolo, which was, I think it was said on the stream at the time as well, a very surprise decision, but I think Kaiju are going to reap the benefits. Anyway, so Kidku starts, and he slaps Sailwoman around for 30,000 before she gets out of there and tags. Then 21 comes in, and now this is the true MVP of the match, I would say. 21, she takes a little bit of a beating from Kidku before he goes out, so he just 10k. So I think 21 was on Demonic Bargain, so to put that into perspective, she was already down a bar. So she takes 10k. So Scouter then comes in. Oob comes in, sorry. and he just gets handily beaten down to pretty much the brink of death. And he tags in to Scouter. Scouter takes a fair time to beat 21, but after I think he takes about 10-20,000 before he takes her down. Berta then comes in and beats Scouter down handily. And then Kid Ku comes back in, but by this point he's already transformed. So before he tagged, he transformed. So he comes back in as an 8, and Berta quickly finishes him and Uboff, both with about 10,000 left before going up against Bardock. And Bardock eventually takes Berta down, but it's just too little too late by this point. So by the Raccoon, he kills Sailwoman, who comes back in with 10k, and then Raccoon comes in and just basically taps him and gets very little stats for the week. Do you guys have any thoughts? I'll go to Tosh this time first.
First off, boo, freaking Kaiju, feeling my fun for next season. I was hoping Kid Ku stayed on the free agent, on a free agent list and everything like that, just so I had something to look forward to the test after my loan with GT ends. Second thing, I love Kaiju's banner. It's one of my favorite banners. Good job. I think Raikage is the one who made it, but I don't know which one. It was Snuffy or Raikage, but either way, I love it. Best banner in my opinion.
That's a very good banner.
This match was just a good show, showing that Burger don't care who he's going against, and also Solar Flare is low key one of the best V1s because of how much 21 was using it in clutch situations.
It's one of the best V1s, except if you're going against Sentai. And then it could be one of the worst ones.
But here's the thing: Sentai also now has one, so
that's what I mean. But it's good for them. It's great for them. Solar Flares. Anyone, if you're going against them, the visors say no. Sorry, bro.
Basically, you just got to make sure that either Saiyaman is benched and Saiyawoman is FA benched or something like that.
Pray.
And then you don't have to deal with that at all.
Yep. Then your Solar Flares will be good.
But yeah, no, it was a good match overall. I kind of expected it to go a bit more even than what it did. I wasn't expecting them to basically win by a whole character, to be honest.
No.
So, mainly because I just remember every now and then how Scouter Vegeta has done my team and everything, and he loves to spam his ults and everything. Kid Ku, I'm wondering if they're still trying to figure out exactly what to do with Kid Ku or and Oob, since that is recent additions for them. So it is they still have 3 weeks and everything like that. That's just my observation. I have no idea what's going on in Kaiju's camp. They could have some stuff already solid, but yeah, no, I'm looking forward to seeing what both teams have. Sentai can be potentially scary because this is them without Jiren.
This is also Kaiju without Nappa though, so that is worth.
Yeah, but Jiren.
Yeah, I know, but Jiren. But look at Nappa last season. I think Nappa was pretty. Is he higher than Jiren?
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
This is also them without Slug. Remember that.
That's true.
Yeah, but I don't care.
I know it's Jiren.
Jiren literally trumps all. He can. He legit can. And Saiyaman is no slouch either. I think Saiyaman was one of their better. I think he's on attack.
Yeah.
Could be wrong.
Last season, I'm pretty sure Saiyaman was top 10 for most of the year.
Yeah, he was.
So, yeah, it could go either way. It could, but ever since that birder, the whole little birder buff that we gave them, and then what is it now, Jiren? No,
They're gonna be
no,
scary next season. With
Yeah,
21 doing what she's doing as well,
no.
it's like yikes.
yeah. If no one's noticed by now, there's a new character.
Yeah.
Yeah, funny enough, they have both of the newest characters for the past 2 seasons.
Yeah, they robbed me. Anyway,
Don't be salty.
no, I'm not salty. Either.
I'm only salty I haven't got Jiro. Need him as an FA.
Yeah,
Forget
okay,
about
sure.
21. Bro, did you see what my man did in TOP? Jiro, he's the boy. Um, Destiny, any more thoughts about the match? Or
Um, I'm also just surprised how quick this one was.
it did go really quick, didn't
With
it?
with
With all the
with
tagging
with,
still.
with I know Napa and I know Slug wasn't in, but Scouter and Bardock are no slouches. Like okay, you gotta figure Kid Ku and Oob out, yeah, I know.
I'll be
And
honest,
I know it's only the first week preseason, but my God, this was quick.
I think Kid Ku was Kaiju's best like person in this match.
You
Like
mean they're bad. Yeah.
their best
I mean,
character.
Kidku never disappoints, and that was one of the weird reasons, especially with us on staff, because we were kind of shocked that they did drop Kidku,
Hmm
because Kidku never went under 40K. Like
Hmm.
he had times where he looked like he underperformed, but that was not the case. Like so,
They
they just got a good 40K character, and they got the build that works for him.
mm,
So yeah, I don't know. They're pretty much set, or I won't say they're set because it probably does depend on who has your team. The AI could change or whatever, but
I think
yeah,
from what I've seen in testing, obviously doing tests and stuff, and this match, I think Kid Ku is probably fine because they're using a very similar build to what they used on Budokai.
mhm.
So I think Kid Ku is fine. I think it's more Oob seemed to be the issue in this match. He didn't do much of anything. Um,
That's true.
so I,
But hey, if Oob the FA isn't doing that hot, and the other team members are, it's not really that big of a deal.
they've got Slug, so he can
Yeah.
fill the same role as Oob. So if he's doing better, I'm sure they'll bring him in. So
Also, just want to say one thing. I hope you guys like that. I went in and made sure Birder and Raccoon were next to each other in the same pose.
oh, love it. We love to see it.
cool. Okay.
That's what I was going to say as well. The symmetry on, I love the symmetry on Sentai's banner, and I know this sounds
Mhm.
ridiculous, but it's like two Ginyu Force members separated by a Pride Trooper with the two heroes on the other side. It's like
Yeah.
symmetrical. We love to see it. Um, has
A lot of
everyone?
good banners this season.
There's very good banners. Um, has everyone said their piece? Can we move on?
I've said
Yeah,
mine.
I'm good.
Cool. Right. So, next match is Royals versus Muscle, and we got to
I
see some interesting things this match. So,
yes, I'm just now watching the match. So, and sure, go ahead.
so we got to see Super Trunks versus not only Deborah but testing season Deborah because this man ripped through Muscle. But I mean,
Mhm.
yeah. So it started out with obviously Super Trunks versus Deborah. As I've already said, Deborah rips through Muscle, so he beats Super Trunks fairly handily, which is unfortunate. We didn't get to see all that much of Super Trunks, but again, when you're going against Deborah and testing and preseason, this is usually what happens. Um,
Don't worry, just wait till main season.
just wait till main season. Don't worry, Deborah will do like 20k. It's all fine. Um, and then we got to have the rematch of the century: Grandpa Gohan versus Deborah, the TOP final rematch. It happened, boys. It happened. Um, unfortunately, unfortunately for Muscle, it kind of went the same as what it went in the TOP with Deborah winning out fairly handily. Um, But Grandpa Gohan did tag, so that was a good thing. Then my old stalwart King Cold came in, lost the beam struggle instantly against Deborah, and Deborah then just continues to beat on him and spam and throw all his key blasts out and stuff, and he pretty much kills King Cold. He gets into 10k, and if King Cold didn't think that was bad enough, Majin Vegeta tags in and just kills him, obliterates him. I think he used the Big Bang attack to kill him.
I would love if occasionally Majin Vegeta just comes in, ult, dies.
That would be good, wouldn't it?
But the more health he has, the more damage it does.
That would be crazy. Imagine it just does a whole 40k, just does a Devil Might beam worth damage. And then so Majin Vegeta kills King Cold. Then we've got only Bojack left on Muscle. He comes in. Majin Vegeta just on this new disgusting variation of the Attack 2 build, which is like a mix between his Attack 2 and Super 2 with the KSA and everything. He just rips through Bojack, and then you think, oh well, maybe Grandpa Gohan can come and make it a bit more respectable, take out Majin Vegeta, and maybe get into Baby or King Vegeta. No, Majin Vegeta instantly, as soon as Grandpa steps on the field, he just blasts him away with a Big Bang attack, and the match is all said and done. So, we'll go to Tosh again. Tosh. In fact, actually, no. Tosh is watching the match. Destiny.
I just finished.
You just finished it. Okay, Tosh. We'll go to Tosh.
Well, first off, I'm kind of sad and upset that I decided to stop watching the stream for a bit, like after my match. So, or after the Kaiju match. So I did not know. Deborah basically went elite.
Yep.
Not basically, he did go elite. 40k on Super Trunks.
He went well beyond it.
Yeah, almost 40k. Almost took out Grandpa Gohan completely. And then, what is it? He did 30k? Or... No. He did 35k to King Cold.
Yep.
Yeah, no.
King Cold had the demonic bargain, obviously, as well.
Yeah, they two-man Muscle. Granted, yes, this is, preseason. And Muscle did not have in Broly or Android 13.
Yeah.
And this is theoretically... Ooh, they're missing Metacooler and...
I would say, at least based off performance, I would... Generally, without testing in it, I would normally take Meta over Deborah. But it's when Deborah does this that it's like, do we want to keep him in?
The struggles of testing off-season Deborah. He always makes himself look good, and then come week one, it's all gonna go downhill. Oh yeah, Pilaf. Pilaf could easily come in for Deborah if Deborah does what he does normally, but.
So you're missing Metacooler and Pilaf on Royal side. So theoretically, depending on how you rank Baby Vegeta, this is technically their strongest lineup.
I would say this is weakest lineup for
Muscle. This is one of their weakest.
I think it is the weakest.
What is it? If they just keep in Bojack and Trunks. Bojack and Trunks, and then put in Broly and 13.
That's their strongest.
That's really the strongest.
Yeah, that's their strongest. Maybe King Cold out for wait, no. I don't even know.
I think Grandpa Gohan out for one of them. I think
I just feel some type of way because Royals is an issue. Royals is a great team, and they scare me. But I'm not usually that scared of Muscle for the most part. I have issues with Muscle, seeing as the last past
Lit-
freaking bowls I've been in.
That's 3
literally,
seasons.
we played 2 bowls versus Muscle, and they were both the bowls. Muscle won.
Yeah, and literally this season could have been the season that this past season could have been the one I won. But either way, like I'm not usually scared of Muscle. Like they're usually manageable, but in a 5v5 situation, their team really pops off. But I don't know how to feel right now. Like between the two.
See,
Like this is not their
no,
strongest, this is their strongest, but they two-man pretty heavily.
I know
So
exactly what you mean. Like, you look at both teams, like retrospectively over the past 2 or 3 seasons, and you look at Muscle, and I don't know, they almost feel like, I know they shouldn't be, but they almost feel like the underdog going into some games. Like last season, the fact they even got to the bowl, let alone won it, was incredible, really.
But they almost got eliminated.
Oh, they did, like, several times, but they still, like, persevered every time and managed to win. But then Royals, like, I looked at them last season, I remember, obviously I was in the same Kai as them, and we were competing up the top of the Kai, and I was always scared of them, and yet I struggled more against Muscle than I did against Royals, even though I was more scared of going against Royals at the time. I just think it shows that Muscle are like a very strong team, and in one-off games they can very easily just win, just because of how powerful some of their characters are. And now they've got Broly back. Yay!
I'm making it a statement. I'm making it back to the bowl for a third time, and Muscle better not be there.
Well, they might not. Depends on how the playoffs look because it's new.
Oh yeah.
But
By the way, people that didn't watch the stream, yeah, new playoff structure. So yeah, be prepared when that comes around.
well, we'll see you in 4 months.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I wish that I could explain it, but I think it's just much better to see it actually go down.
Listen, just go watch the last Dragon Cast. We explain it there. Staff explains it there. So.
Speaking of Muscle, by the way, I know it's kind of hard to see here because I have them a little bit squished because that's just to fit them on the slides. But if you can see the actual Muscle banner, while it looks a little bit wonky because Broly might be blurry for some people, I think top 3 banner right there.
It's a very good banner.
And you have the 2 trophies there too. One for 2022, one for 2020.
It is, yeah.
Don't remind me of my failures.
I wasn't doing it out of spite. I'm doing it because
I know.
But top 3 banner.
King Cole's got the drip.
Cool.
He does.
I will say though, I look forward to seeing how both of these teams see if Deborah actually,
works,
continues this. Because if he does, yeah, I feel bad for my team and everyone else in the league. Straight up.
If he decides to continue it.
And for Muscle, I look forward to seeing y'all full strength if y'all decide to do that during the preseason, because I kind of see what I'm going up against, what to expect. So, Ryan, you're always a wild card because Ryan is like one of the only coaches that I know that can just put stuff together and everything like that, and it works out well because he knows his team really well.
In and out.
It is scary.
What is it?
I look forward to seeing how they do with King Cold. Please make him like a 70k character, and I will take him back. Thank you.
I no can do, buddy. You have 3 people right there.
I want another one though, and another one.
No, not on your team, on Muscle.
Oh, okay. Well,
kind of hard to make a 470k character when everyone's already dead.
Oh well, just start King Cold and then make him a 70k character.
I'm actually excited for none of what you all said. You know who I'm excited for?
Grandpa Gohan?
To see some base baby Vegeta, bro.
Oh yeah.
Because some of the most unique stuff in the game.
Mm-hmm.
but we're
Now,
never gonna see him if Deborah fucking does this.
now listen, I really wanted Baby Vegeta. I fought for him and Ood to be FA.
I'm so glad.
So,
I'm so glad that a Freezer form is not the only form FA. I'm
oh
so
yeah,
glad.
no, yeah.
Actually, I don't
Let's
even
see
think a
some
Frieza form got put in this
That's
year.
what I mean. Yeah,
Nope.
it's. I'm glad that we got some variety. And I
Because
don't.
it would have been boring to kind of keep the same thing. Because what you want to do? Third form, third Xmat. Remember third form?
We don't
Oh.
talk about third form. That never happened. Never happened.
No, we don't talk about second form.
We also don't talk about second form, but I didn't have second form, so
But we will talk about
I'm
first
less annoyed about that. First form
We
we
will
can talk
talk
about
about first
all day, all day. Yeah.
But anyway, go on.
You
Doge?
yeah.
Oh no, I'm done.
Oh.
I wanted Baby Vegeta. Got cheated out of it, but
Uh,
I'm glad to see him on the team. I want to see him do well.
Imagine they paid so much that he actually have him in matches, and Deborah just kills everybody all the time.
Deborah,
You'll
man.
have Deborah working, but
At what
there goes your penny.
cost? At what cost?
Baby Vegeta and their
Exactly.
peel off slot.
And yeah, the ability to give anyone else stats. Yeah. Cool. Has everyone said their piece on this match? Any other final?
You know, we talked a lot about this.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think we talked a decent amount.
There's a joke, but give me Broly back. Anyway.
Fair. Right.
Anyway, let's go.
Okay, so now Boo Saga versus Androids is the next match.
Actually,
Ooh.
before you move on, for people that don't know, they were the Boojins. They just got renamed to Boo Saga because their team theme is obviously different. They are now just everything that encompasses the Boo Saga, not just the Boojins.
Well, not everything. Everyone that had a major role.
Major role, yeah.
I think it's the same ruling for what GT is, right? It's like everyone had a major role.
basically.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So now we got that bit out of the way. So we had to start off with in this match, we had Buhan versus 16, which Buhan comfortably wins. He got, I think he got a couple of B2s off, which really just sort of shut 16 down, and that focus shot on Buhan. Another new Batara that I don't think we've mentioned so far, which is basically just like.
Oh, we've mentioned.
Have we mentioned it? Did we mention
Aurelia.
it?
Aurelia had it.
Oh, Rayleigh had it, but do we say about what it does or?
No.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
we
So
didn't.
So what it does is it gives you like so every it
super
gives you a
plus
stat
0.6.
boost like plus 0.6. Yeah, it's like getting a one stack of indignation or one stack of indignation in this case. So
But your blast stops charge slower.
yes. So Buhan had that on his build, which helped boost his B2s up a little bit. And obviously his melee's already really good anyway. So, then Perfect Cell comes in up against Buhan. So last season, Androids had Super Perfect Cell. They've now gone back to what he's been on for several seasons before that, Perfect Cell. So he comes in, but he takes 20,000 before he can finish Buhan off. But eventually he does, get to finishing him off. And then Vegito, who is the FA, thematically fits in pretty well for Boo Saga, but the FA for Boo Saga this season. So he comes in and he ults Cell and just kills him. And then we get to see another FA for Androids. Kui comes in against Vegito, and Kui doesn't do great. He does about 30,000 to Vegito before Vegito tags, but Kid Buu just comes in and finishes Kui off before he could do anything. Then we have, honestly, my favourite part about this match, which was Kid Buu versus 17. Now, I don't know if any of you remember this, but basically, this part of the match just went really, really quick. It was like a burst off. It was like Kid Buu was on attack 2, if I remember correctly, so he was doing lots and lots in melee, and obviously 17 was on his usual Super Plus 2. So every time that 17 would hit, say that again, Destiny.
But doesn't 17 also have a new Patara?
Yeah, he does. He has key control.
He has key control. See, I didn't remember that. So
And pretty sure what it does is when you're like dashing in and stuff, it doesn't use key.
Yeah, I have it. Dragon Dash, High Speed Rush Movement, and Z Dash. Or Dragon Dash, High Speed Rush Movement costs no key. Z Dash costs half key. Counter Pose and Key Blast costs also are half. But you have a negative 0.6 to key.
So
that's fine because he's an android.
It's a minus stack, like one stack of Fighting Spirit, essentially.
Yeah, he's an android though. Like he doesn't care.
And also he's saving. He probably saves more. Well, he will save more key than what he.
He actually has the highest passive charge rate, anyways, too.
And doesn't he normally have one of the tensions?
He has
high tension.
His build this week was Super 2 High Tension Key Control Indignation.
Yes. So anyway, you can see he has a lot of damage on that build. So him with Super 2 against Kid Buu with Attack 2, it went really quick. They traded fairly evenly for the most part. But Kid Buu goes down, Majin Buu comes in, instantly ults, and the match is, hey presto, done. So, I mean, I personally enjoyed this match. It was fairly one-sided in the end with Bujin's winning by just a character, just one whole character. So that's not great for androids, but it was still a fun match, I thought. Any thoughts? We'll go to Destiny first.
It's nice to see Perfect Cell again after 2 years?
Yep, 2 years. Yep.
Wow, it's really been 2 years since Perfect Cell came back. It's funny seeing that Vegito is the FA for Buu Saga. Wrong form in the banner, but we don't really. It's just picky. So, but what is it? I feel a little bad for androids, at least on their FA department, because they tried to go for like maybe 5 FAs and got outbid on all of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what happens when you're in North Kai, though.
No, let's set it straight. They going out there trying to outbid people. They were one of the teams. I have no sympathy for them. They sat there. They outbidded me for Baby, and they could have just gone for someone else because they knew they weren't going to get Baby. So they could have gone for someone else. I don't feel have no sympathy for Donut.
The record has been set.
That's why you always have to put the max, because you never know what droid is sleeping in. No, that's why you have to go for the max of Android Zenny. Or you never know what's sleeping in the dark. But anyway, about the match. Yeah, honestly, I don't remember.
He was on about Kui. I think he was on about Kui. Maybe maybe who they didn't want specifically. I guess.
I mean, I just think Kui for this match was kind of just a hard one to do because like there's just so much high damage people with Bujins, and the one like low damage person, which is Spopovich, is not going to be out when they have Vegito as their FA.
Oh yeah, I mean,
man,
they
could have got the Cabbage Man. They could have got Cyberman.
I'm gonna be honest though, looking at the from what my notes and what I remember, Kui actually wasn't the worst on androids. 16 got really ruffled his feathers.
I remember 16 got manhandled.
Yeah.
But I just think in terms of people who you want to do the damage, Kui is not one of them.
No, he isn't. He was fairly, I wouldn't say great for Dirt last season, but he was decent enough. So
he was like average, but on the lower side.
Yeah, so he could still do a job.
I feel like they really need to figure out Cell and 16 at this point, to be honest.
Hmm.
I don't. I know. I think they were kind of basically reverted back to their old builds and everything. But and don't get me wrong, it can work because I can't say much. Like Kid Trumps is basically going back on his old build and everything like that. From the not last season, but the past
Hmm.
2020 and 2021. But at this point, I feel like everyone else has gotten a much better handle on their team, and I feel like everyone has really stepped up.
Mm.
That I feel like sometimes, depending on the character, some builds just won't cut it, and it felt like 16 still staying on his attack 2 build, and Cell going back on that attack +1 and everything. It just wasn't doing
J-
it. It
Uh,
could just be against Busaga. Don't get me wrong. It could just be against Busaga, but who knows?
I mean, yeah, I will say, um, at least on that, it's not the worst to go back to old builds. I
Oh
think
yeah.
the only ones that are changed is obviously they have Tao, so they have to make a build for him. But I'm pretty sure the only ones with like major changes is Super 17, because while albeit 17 has like key control, he's still really on the same build. He still has Super 2, he still has high tension, he still has Indig. It's just what the other two slots are filled by.
Hmm.
But
I
hey,
don't know.
we're but hey, we're not androids, so
Androids,
Yeah.
yeah.
Busaga, y'all did great and everything.
and hey,
Majin Buu really didn't even have to really come in for the most part.
and
So
Majin
and
just
and you know
came in,
Vegeta was a
went brow,
great.
and then just ulted and then ended it.
and, and you know this will go for every team that lost, or hell, just every team in general. It's only the first week of preseason.
It's
Preseason's well, half the teams use preseasons for testing, anyways, because it's literally just 4v4s that get streamed.
pretty much. I mean, I went 0-4 last season. I got to semi-final, so it's like it doesn't really make any difference what happens in
It,
preseason.
it, it's just more data.
Exactly. It's
You just have
streamed.
you just have more people watching.
Yeah, exactly. So
So
is that everything?
so yeah, no,
Yeah.
yeah, we can move on to match 7.
Match 7. It is yes. GT versus Budokai. So to start this match, we had Sin and Early Piccolo go bouting it out against each other, and honestly, this match was very even to the point where it looked like Early Piccolo might like finish it off in the end, but Sin came in clutch, finished off Early Piccolo, only to just then immediately die to Goku. But he did his job. Sin did what he had to do, um, and then we ended up with Master versus Apprentice, as you could say, with Roshi versus Goku. Um, so it goes mainly in Goku's favor, but Roshi ends up tagging on with 20,000 health left to sort of try and equalize things, getting Baby in, um, and then basically we have Enku versus Baby. Enku managed to just do 20,000 to Baby, and Baby's literally just a whisker away from finishing him off, and he has a slither of health. And Goku decides, I'm going to be smart. I'm going to tag, and I think it does come back and bite GT in the end with that. So Supreme Kai comes in, and immediately after the tag, it was like a little combo almost. Enku kicked Baby away, and then tagged, and Supreme Kai instantly came in and did a B2. Now, I've seen that multiple times in testing, Supreme Kai doing that, so I think that might be a thing that ends up happening a lot this season, where he comes straight in and immediately does a rush B2. Um, so, yeah, that happens. And Baby ends up tagging before he goes down, brings Jiro in for the first time this season, the GOAT, Comes in, does 20,000 to Supreme Kai, tags. Roshi comes in and ults Supreme Kai and ends up killing Supreme Kai just after he transforms. And then the problem is they've got adult Gohan to go up against the man, the myth, the legend himself, and they can't deal with him. Basically, adult Gohan comes in, finishes Baby, Roshi, and Jiro all off. It's adult Gohan versus the world. Adult Gohan's the winner. So, yeah. Any thoughts about this match, Tosh?
I'm glad to see that Sin is transforming and everything. I kind of want him to be a little bit smart about it, you know. This outside, I don't really see much of GT, I guess, changing. The only difference is Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta not being in, you know. But right now, we already know that they're using their FA because, um, yeah, they got Pan this season again. So Pan is sitting comfortably on that FA bench for the whole season, I'm pretty sure. On Budokai, I'm not shocked that they won. They got a little bit of a buff and everything. Well, and Goku got a buff and everything, and basically Budokai did. So Super Saiyan 2, Goku has been working extremely well for them, you know, and they showed it here. Um, I don't know. I'm good thing that early Piccolo went even with them. I was kind of doubting him and everything. Still maybe too early to tell, but
I like
I
the
feel like it
pun
was a good
there.
match.
Too early to tell. Good pun.
Shut up.
Continue.
I hate it. It wasn't even intentional.
Mine aren't even intentional,
Oh,
but it was good.
Jiro's still trash.
Giro
Anyways,
doesn't even do that bad in this match, from what I remember. I think that
they lost by 3 bars, so
I think
it's not bad.
I think Roshi might have been the worst. I could be wrong though. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't have too much. It was a decent match and everything. I look forward to see how everyone else does. You know, and yeah, I feel I feel GT will probably go far, but I think Budokai got it so far. Like they're in a really good position as well.
I will say one thing. So I skimmed over the builds for a little bit, and yeah, and don't expect Goku to transform at all this season.
Oh.
Yeah, he's bullies ringed.
Wait, who?
Oh.
Goku.
See, they could take that off. They still got 3 weeks.
I mean, it could.
No, why? Don't be boring, Budokai. Let the man transform. Let him be free. It,
Let it be
honestly,
free.
Let the
though,
free be free.
honestly, I just don't. I mean, say shit on. They probably saw something in their testing. I don't see the difference between that because I feel like in that form he's probably more likely to transform up, and even then, if one, it feels like with every character, once they get closer to their final form and everything like that, they quite literally feel it feels like they take the longest time to try to transform to it. So I don't think that he's going to revert. At least I don't remember any Budokai tests where he actually reverted back to base or like Super Saiyan 1 or whatever.
Mhm.
So
But
I don't see the point. But hey, it's their team and they probably saw something that we don't see.
we'll say that honestly, just a little unfortunate for GT. I thought they had this, but I'm quite happy for early Piccolo. Like he actually was going even with Sin, which is not something you'd say in one sentence normally.
You wouldn't expect it, right? Like
Yeah.
it's fairly like Sin's a fairly good character, so early Piccolo going even with him is pretty good. Good sign for Budokai. And I mean, I think Budokai are looking scary this season with some of the fact they got Supreme Kai working so well. early Piccolo's looking fairly decent.
We know how the two Gokus are already.
Yeah, exactly. And we've got
Adult.
Yeah, I mean, he's a monster, so as we saw last season. So I think this could be good. Very good season for them. And I mean GT they'll probably do what they always do. They'll struggle a little bit for the first half of the season, and then they'll come back in, clutch, win every match, back after the season. And
I mean, it is also preseason. They might just be testing Roshi more and Jiro because because as Tosh said earlier, they're probably going to just have Roshi in because they don't like using Pan.
yeah, they don't. But they also don't
If
have.
you notice, Pan is not on their banner.
I was about to say, speaking of their banner, I really love their banner.
Their banner's cool.
I really love the 4 characters in one of the Dragon Balls, and then you're like, oh, where's the 5th character? Nah, he's in the background because he is a dragon.
What? Yeah, I like it. I think it's very good.
Not to knock Budokai's banner though, because I really like it. You have the 2 early people in the back representing like the early parts, and then you have like the four of the Buu Saga characters in the front.
Mm-hmm. So, you ready to get to the last one?
We can skip that one if you want.
No, I'm ready. You made
Tosh
Tosh go through this. We're going through it.
Doesn't even had a. Hey, listen, even had a canon fight and canon ending.
To be fair, you know, I'm not. It was a close match, so I'm not too upset by the loss anyway, and it's preseason. So, let's go with the quick rundown. So we had Krillin versus. So obviously it's Earthbenders versus Cold. We'll start off with that to point out the obvious. But we had Krillin versus Mecha Frieza to begin with. Krillin wins fairly handily. It was a bit of a test type build on Mecha. It was. He's been running on a different build most of the testing. It was kind of like a almost a hybrid between his test build and last season's build and stuff. So it didn't go great. It wasn't the best, but this is what preseason's about. It's about, you know, testing things. So yeah, that didn't end very well. But then this is my hype moment of the match for me, anyway. So we picked up Tao as an FA this season, and boy did he slap hard in this match. He comes in, Krillin has about 20k left. He deals the 20k off Krillin, and then like fairly quickly as well. Like I think it was within the first 20 seconds, mainly through Dodon Ray spamming, which, as we'll mention later, becomes just fairly prevalent really throughout the match. He then goes up against Mid Vegeta, and Mid Vegeta does fairly decent at first, bursts Tao down a bit, but Tao ends up just pulling out the win with just insane, not only spamming the Dodon Ray, but as said in the stream at the time, consistently hitting them. It wasn't like he was just missing a load, or he was literally hitting them at the perfect time. And yeah, so he burst down Mid Vegeta, and then that's about all Tao does, because Midku steps on the field, the new base Midku, which we haven't seen before, or at least I don't remember us seeing really in the league, and he spirit bombs Tao, and Tao is just dead. I think it's the only spirit bomb that isn't a cutscene, and it's...
Yep, he does. I'm getting excited in that spirit bomb.
Yep, and Tao is just dead at that point. There's nothing you can do. But then, this is where I start to get upset now. We have Jace versus Midku. So Jace comes in off the back of Tao, and Jace does really, really well. Like, he bursts Midku down with just constant crushables, full power energy waves. He does what you want your spammer to do. And Midku gets to 1 HP. And what does Midku do with this 1 HP? He tags, and Jace does not finish him off. And this really, really, really comes back to bite us on the ass later on. So Midku tags, and Jace then goes up against Narm, and I don't know what they've been feeding Narm, but whatever they've been doing is working excellently because Narm very easily and quickly just dispatches of Jace. And yeah, I've got to give them props for what they've done with Narm. Then it ends up being the new 100% Freezer versus Narm. We've seen 100% Freezer before, not on this sort of build. It's on Attack 2 instead of the sort of spam stuff that he was on a couple of seasons ago. And to be honest, Narm on these beans is making it very hard for Freezer. He does eventually take him out, but he struggles a fair bit. And then this is where I say it comes to bite us on the backside. Midku comes back in, transforms, almost finishes it off with a complete cannon ending with the Angry Kamehameha. Misses. Well, it doesn't completely miss. It clips Freezer.
It
clips him. He does a little bit of damage. It does. I remember at the time thinking that he was dead because it's Freezer's falling. And he bounces, so it hits him, and then he's not fully hit. So, unfortunate we didn't get the complete cannon ending, but it still ended in the cannon end anyway because Midku just punches him off and finishes Freezer off. But it was a 10k difference, so it wasn't too ridiculous. And yeah, I mean, you pretty much heard my thoughts about the match because I've just documented them while I was talking. But we'll go with Destiny. What are your thoughts?
I don't know after that documentation I just heard.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
I'm just honestly, I'm not so surprised that you didn't use either of the characters that were loaned to them. Just use, but I am surprised that they actually switched up the Goku form this time. Normally, he's like always on Super Saiyan when he's on ED.
I am very happy that they did though, because I think it's going to be very fun. Like, as much as it ended up, destroying me in the end and left us with a loss, I think that having him being able to transform and keep KSA is very, very frightening as a prospect. That and the fact that, I mean, his ult's pretty damn good anyway, like base.
He also has giving your energy to boost it.
Exactly. So he's a good spammer in base, and if he transforms, it just becomes even better. So I think it's fun.
I will say also, I'm very glad they didn't go with base mid Vegeta this season.
Yeah.
It would have been very hard to tell which was which.
We already have that with early Piccolo and late Piccolo. Lucky they're separated on teams.
We already
now.
have that with like all the Gokus when they're in base.
Oh god.
I mean, okay, with Vegeta, it's not that bad though. One has Saiyan armor or one has casual clothes, while Vegeta always has on his like fighting, not his gi, but his training suit or whatever.
Yeah. It's not as bad. Also, nice to see that Krillin staying the same as always. Just
Krillin the Destroyer. He's One Punch Man, honestly.
Hey, we did a short on that.
Yeah, I know I said it somewhere.
It was a good match overall. it was one of the closer ones and all. So no, I don't have much to say about it. I just kind of wish that we did get the canon ending of Angry Kamehameha actually hitting and finishing them off.
I would
And
have been happier with that as well, even though like I would have lost either way. Like at least make it completely canon. Give the Angry Kamehameha like the finishing move. That would have been great, but no. Alas, it did not happen. So, yeah.
but yeah, no, good on both sides. So
Yeah, I think it was a very evenly contested match, and I enjoyed it. Um, even though Jace did annoy me by not doing 1 pixel worth of damage with like a rush blast. God damn you, Jace. Um, but yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. So is that everything? We covered this match to the fullest. I know I did, definitely. But you guys have any other thoughts? Or are we good?
I'm good.
Cool. Right. Okay. So we're
Move
moving
on to
on
everyone's favorite portion.
everyone's favorite part: predictions. So for week 2, let's start. We'll start off. Well, we'll go from the beginning. Obviously, we have Muscle versus Derp, the first
It's
match,
technically a divisional.
and it's a
Technical.
divisional. Even though obviously it doesn't really make much of a difference for preseason, it's still a divisional. So, let's start with you, Tosh. What do you think is going to happen in this match?
I feel like Muscle is still gonna keep their not have their strongest team out there.
Hmm.
And while Dirt has, I don't know how Herc has been like in testing. I remember Herc's not has been kind of off and on. Like he's still decent, but he hasn't been like overtly like crazy and everything.
Hmm.
And Guinea is a great addition. I would probably say I give it to Dirt and everything if Muscle don't have like their strongest in there. If like they still have what Grandpa Gohan,
Hmm.
and Bojack in there. But if they take both them two out and they put Broly and 13 in, yeah, no. They if Broly's in, Broly or 13, well, both of them actually. I don't care. And just add in Trunks, the combination of those three, yeah. I feel like Muscle will take it then, but it depends. I'm 55% Dirt, 45% Muscle right now.
Destiny.
Jesse,
Uh, well, for me, I would say Muscle because I because I know Grandpa Gohan may be a hindrance and stuff, but I think they have enough power with either Broly or 13 coming in, not just both, with either or coming in, that Derp might have a hard time, considering that it seemed like for week 1 that like Hercule wasn't having the best after his good start. Salsa definitely wasn't up to par, so I'm gonna give it the Muscle.
I am also going to. Well, I'm going to lean with Destiny and give it to Muscle because I I tend to agree. I think if they get rid of one of King Cold, or well, to be fair, one of King Cold, Bojack, or Grandpa Gohan, and they um, put in one of 13 or Broly, then yeah, I just think they'll win. Because I think those are their 3 weakest. I mean, it's more so King Cold and Grandpa Gohan, but I still think they could get away with taking Bojack out and putting one of those two in and winning. Um, so yeah, I just think that those two characters are just so strong that I do think as good as Dirt can be, and I mean Ginyu really killed it last match. Um, and I think Bobby did really well for them as well. I just don't. I don't know. But unless Souls is back on like peak form, I just don't think they're gonna win. So that's 2-1 to Muscle. Let's get moving on to the next match, which it's GT versus ED, another divisional. Let's start with the Destiny this time.
Now this one's a lot more of a close one to me, but I feel like I just feel like since GT have both Juro and Roshi, which seems like they're still trying to work things out with Juro, and obviously having to work stuff out with Roshi, and since it's preseason, they might just use it to test. I'm going to have to lean towards ED because, to be honest, I don't see a weak link of ED except Yajirobe, and guess who's probably not going to be in at all.
Yajirobe. He won't be in, I don't think. Tosh? Thoughts?
I would lean more to ED. GT is still a strong team and everything, but Krillin is is an ace starter and a great melee. So if they start Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, which I'm not sure if they will or not, but that I feel like that's the only one that can really match maybe Krillin on that. Um, if they don't, Krillin may get a lead and try to stretch it as far as he can. So, and especially if they have Vegeta in, that can just add a little bit more into the favor. So I'm going ED.
Right. Okay. So I hate to be, the party pooper, but I'm also going to go ED. But it's mainly the fact that it's more leaning into what you said, Destiny. With they're gonna have to be testing probably Jiro and Roshi. So I mean, I think that's the problem. I think they'll be spending most of the time testing those two, and if for some whatever reason they decide to put Pan in, they'll also be testing her. So I don't see any world where they're not like testing multiple characters, which I think ED feel like they're in a more stable spot right now with their builds and stuff. So I think that I mean it's only pre-season, so GT have time, but I just think that ED are going to win this one. Not comfortably, but decently. And yeah, so there we go. Match number 3 is Cold versus Boo Saga, and if you don't mind, I would like to put my input in first before I hand the reins to you guys. So, we're gonna win. Confidence, is needed, and yeah, just gonna win. No, seriously though, I do think we're gonna win. Do you guys want me to tell you like the lineup, because this isn't going to go out till Thursday, so I can reveal a little bit.
It won't go until Friday.
Friday. I lied. So I can reveal the lineup because I can't reveal builds because we haven't actually got that far yet. But so lineup wise, we've got Freezer, Cooler, Jason, Zarbon. That's what we're looking at right now. So no Tau and no Mecha Freezer. So that is my lineup, and I'm fairly confident because Cooler's on his 2020 build, which was fairly destructive that season. I don't know if you remember, he was like top 5 on this spam build. Yeah, third form. Yeah, so we've got Cooler on that build. We've got Jace on the build that we seen it last season. It did last week, this week. It did pretty well. I mean, it would have been nice if he did like 1 pixel more worth of damage on a certain character. But he 40k build, like decent. Zarbon is going to be on his same stuff from last season. And Freezer is probably going to be on his Attack 2 build. So I am confident I don't want to say that it's going to be an easy win, but I think we're going to win. But yeah. Tosh, I'll let you continue.
Uh, it's hard. It's real hard for this one. Um, I will have to probably lean more to Blue Saga.
Boo! No, I'm joking. Carry on.
Nah, because attack for Kid Buu and Buhan, that Kid Buu attack build is crazy and it's very beneficial. So I can see that really working out, especially since if you have Savior on Frieza,
No
it's
savior.
basically nothing. Okay, well, if you did by chance, there was like no point because they all break through it,
Oh yeah.
through his power body.
Yeah.
Um, and also just Kid Buu has much faster melee that can overtake what is it, Final Form Frieza or
100%.
100% Form
Yeah,
Frieza. I
yeah.
mean,
100%'s not the
uh,
quickest. No, but
and then even against like Jace, who if he stays in his face, but it really depends. I would say that. Vegito looked very good, especially as a spammer for them. Um, and I don't know if they will put in Spopovich, but if they do, I can see it going y'all way. But right now, I feel like their heavy hitters are a little bit better right now, or at least they have more of an edge over y'all. I'll say that.
that's fair. I can see where you're coming from. Well, I will say there is a point to 100% freezer on Savior. It's called Nova Strike. That's the only point that he would have at that point. But yeah, no, he's not going to be. So, Destiny.
Yeah. I'm going to, after hearing both. They had, I think this is a tough one, but honestly, I think your team generally struggles with a lot more of like the melee characters, the ones that just don't let your team charge or be one, just get up in your face.
You would be
And
correct in that assessment, yeah.
and Boo Saga generally their top dogs are normally like up in your face.
Hmm.
Especially since Kid Boo's been on his attack 2 build. We know Evil Boo is probably going to be on defense if he comes in. Uh, and of course Buhan, just Buhan. So I'm going to have to go Boo Saga. But this was a really hard decision for me to make.
I can't believe I've been betrayed. Uh, no, it was. I think it'll be a good match. In all honesty, I think it'll be very fun. So, yeah, 2-1 to Busaga. Next match, match 4, is Kaiju versus RW. I will let Tosh lead on this.
Um, Probably have to go Kaiju on this.
Ooh, Kaiju. How come? Why?
No particular reason. Just have a feeling.
Just have a feeling, gut feeling. Um, okay, I will go with. I think I'm going to go with RW, and I'll tell you why. I think their performance this week against Dirt was pretty good. Like they did a lot of tagging, and I don't know. I just think that if they can do a repeat performance of that with Yamcha just looking really good, if he's in, especially, I think they're going to pull out the win. Kaiju weren't too convincing this week, but hopefully they can get back onto better things. But Destiny, what are your thoughts?
No, this is going to be an interesting one because, well, I think if RW has Majub in along with Tapion, then they'll win, I guess. So I'm going to say RW.
Okay.
By the way, we could have a Kaiju versus Kaiju match if Tapion goes high Rudigar.
Oh, hopefully it does.
Or we could have Tapion ult a giant for once.
That would be cool.
And also Oob versus Machu. Just because the mirror match.
Oh, that would be sick, wouldn't
Kinda.
it? There's some very interesting matchups in this, well, potential matchups in this thing. So hopefully we get to see some of those. So what was that? It was 2-1 RW, was it? All right.
I think so. I guess I was the only one that went Kaiju.
You're the only one that, yeah. Okay. So match number 5, we have Androids versus Sentai. Destiny, do you want to take the floor?
So I'll say honestly I'm going to go with Sentai because they had such a dominating win this last week against a team that they normally should struggle a little bit more against. Obviously 21 is still kind of an unknown factor, obviously, but they have powerhouses like Sayman and Jiren in the back. Raccoon, sure, he does his damage, but Birder is the key to their success, I feel like. Just because I think he's one of the only characters who can actually stay in an android's face.
Yes. 100%. He's one of those characters that can really make the androids feel the pain that they go out to others. He just sticks in their face and stops them from doing anything. So, okay. I don't know why, but all logic says to me that Sentai should win. But like Tosh had a gut feeling about Kaiju, I just have a gut feeling that Android's are going to win this. And I don't know why. I think it might just be because maybe they'll be reeling from this past week and they'll make a few changes to builds and they'll come back strong this week. But I think Perfect Cell's going to do really well this week for some reason. And I just think I just think Androids are going to win. So, Tosh, you want to round us off?
I'm going Sentai.
Okay.
One word, Jiren.
Jiren.
Well, 2 words, sorry. Jiren Birder.
Jiren Birder. Well, we'll see. Jiren and Birder are like the new tech, and Perfect Cell's like the old tech. So we'll see if the old beats new. Find out. Okay, so moving on to match number. So that was what it was 2 on Sentai. So let's get moving on to match number 6. So
we'll count you as a half.
No, we'll count me as a 1. I am the one and only. Yeah. So match 6, Cinema versus Namek. I will let Destiny lead on this one since it's Cinema.
I just want to say right now we don't have a lineup set up nor the builds we will use because
it's only Tuesday.
Yeah, it's only Tuesday. But I'm gonna have to say Namek's normally one of our harder matchups because of people like Nuova and Late Piccolo. And now that they have PyCon can be a big issue, as I would know because I used them last season.
PyCon is very scary. Yes.
But I will say I'm still going to go with my team because I believe in my team.
That's what you got to do. Got to have faith. Faith to faith. I'll pass on to Tosh. I still have to think and make up my mind.
I'm gonna have to go. Destiny. That's the only time I'm voting for you. Cinema.
That's not nice.
Wow.
You're in my division again, so be prepared for me to vote
I
again.
know, but wow.
Wow. Any
I
particular,
didn't expect you to vote for me.
any reason, or just like,
I think just cinema can probably just be a little bit better because outside of late Piccolo and everything in that last match, King Piccolo he did kind of pop off in the beginning, but that kind of died down real quick, and
yeah?
everyone else kind of just fell for the most part. So I think cinema is a little bit more put together right now. So just overall in general versus Namek. So I can see them taking it instead.
Uh, I- I'm going to go with Namek, but it's based off a pure like hunch of mine, and the hunch
Okay,
is, and
listen,
it.
sir. I only said the hunch once. You're using it twice now.
No, but okay, the hunch is their lineup though. It depends because I think I it's guesswork here, but I think that they'll bring Nuova in for one. And I think if Nuova's in, I just think that they'll have a bigger chance of winning. I also think that King Piccolo might get dropped and put Tamarine in. Um, that could help as well. But the main thing is Nuova. If they put Nuova in, I think that they'll win. If they don't, I think Cinema will win. But I just think Nuova and Late Piccolo on the same lineup is very scary. So, um, yeah, we'll see about that. So that's 2-1 to Cinema. Our next match is Royals versus Rugrats, and I'll let Tosh lead because Tosh
I'm
needs to tell us about
scared.
how insane his team is. Don't be scared.
Scared. I have faith in my team, but Royals scared me, especially after watching their match.
He
And
has to
by the way,
fight
I had to
main
watch it. Yeah, I also have to watch that again because I have to do stat. I think I have Royals for stats.
Oh, your stats will be
So
easy then. You've got two people to do stats for.
yeah, it should be easy, but dang. So just to let y'all know, we are benching GT Goat as of right now. I don't know if it may change depending on if me and my Sony if we get outvoted. Uh, but as of right now, it looks like we are benching what is it, GT Goku and Devilman, and we're bringing in it's going to be Cell Junior, Goten, Trunks, and Aurelie. Uh, Fusions are on, so it's going to be attack 2, key 2 for Gotenks. Um, Aurelia is going to be on basically the same build except latent energy. Instead of latent energy, she has Sirius now, and Cell Junior still on his demonic bargain build from last week. So um, I want to give it to my team. Gotenks has done extremely well and has been consistent on that build. We actually have two builds this season, but this one I feel like has been the best one that we have. And if Cell Junior has been outperforming this whole off season for the most part, him and Aurelia, I feel like this is technically our strongest lineup, even with or without fusions. So, but yeah,
Okay, so that's Tosh going for Rugrats there. So I cannot believe I'm going to say this, but I agree. I think it'll be Rugrats. So as scary as Royals were this last week, and they were ridiculously scary with Deborah and Margin Vegeta, I just think again, I don't think they'll have both of them in, because I feel like they might want to look at a few of their other characters. Maybe Pilaf will come out of his cage, quite possibly. Um,
also Goten and Trunks do have KSA, so they have access to all forms at start. Just
ooh,
it's
okay,
not like how we did last season where we didn't give them any of the B1 stock Katars.
okay, yeah. So, but yeah, because I don't think Margin Vegeta and Deborah will be in. which is a big plus. I think one of them will be out. So, if assuming that's the case, I think that you've got like a decent chance of winning. You've got pretty much what I would consider your strongest lineup at the moment, because I think Cell Junior is doing that well. Um, so yeah, I will back Rugrats. Destiny.
I'm going to say Royals.
Oh,
It's always that
a
one
party
logo.
fever.
And it's not even because I don't think Rugrats can win. It's just even if one of the two is out, they still have Meta Cooler they can bring in. And we know how Meta Cooler is. And like if they have Deborah in, it's pre-main season Deborah. He's probably going to be a monster.
Yeah.
Like seriously, like I don't
I can't
see
even
a weak
argue.
like other than Pilaf, who hell might not even be in, or hell even if he's in, might do something because Royals does have like that more clashy build for Pilaf that he likes to do. Like I don't see a like super weak link for Royals.
I see where you're coming from, and for the most part, I do agree. But I just think that, yeah, think that we don't know what Royals lineup is, but I just think it might be weaker than this week at least. But we'll see. So that is 2-1 to Rugrats, and moving on to the final match of this prediction session. Budokai versus Hybrids. I'll let Destiny lead on this.
Oh, it's a hard one.
That's why I gave it to you.
I think if Budokai start with early Piccolo again and Hybrids keep their ultimate Gohan start, it's going to be very bad for Budokai because I just don't think early Piccolo has what it takes to take out ultimate Gohan. But if they start somebody like I don't know. Actually, I don't think they have an actual starter other than early because
I was gonna say if they
Goku likes
started
to come in.
Kid Coup, but then I remembered that they can't do that anymore.
And like
Um,
Goku has Savior, Gohan has Savior, and I'm pretty sure Early has KSA. So I'm gonna have to give it to Hybrids
yeah.
because I think whatever starter that Hybrids throws out can just take out either Videl or Early Piccolo. But hey, if they throw in a curveball and put in Supreme Kai, hey, it might change.
Tosh.
Oh, give me.
If you want to wait, if you want to, I
Yeah,
can
you
say
go ahead.
mine. I'll go ahead. Okay. I agree. I think it's going to be hybrids. I think Budokai, they did look pretty scary this past week, but I do think that their starter might be an issue in terms of having a strong sort of lead into matches. An early Piccolo against Gohan, yeah, that could be not very fun. Um, and I mean, Videl, I think would be even worse. So, um, yeah, I think with hybrids just look really strong this season. With he Sword Trunks as well. This past match doing a lot of work. So when you've got Sword Trunks doing a lot of work and you've still got Alt Gohan, um, Teen Gohan in the back, yeah, it's not, it's not looking good for the other teams this season. But yeah, Tosh, are you now ready?
Yeah, I am.
Cool.
I kind of every team has gotten stronger, and it's always harder to make predictions at times. Um, probably hybrid. Yeah, probably hybrids. Uh, I was gonna say Budokai because it and Goku specifically, and adult Gohan. Um, should they like you think that those two will be definitely be great, but then you have like I think you guys mentioned it and everything else kind of here and there. What is it? Teen Ultimate and then Sword Trunks.
Hmm.
Like it's well the Sword Trunks from last week if that's still the case.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, no, I gotta give it the hybrids.
Okay, so that's 3-0 hybrids. I don't think that's like a bad reflection on Budokai, but I just think that you know it's a tough match, but hybrids are just looking really strong this past week and over testing. So yeah, that rounds out predictions. And was there any other thoughts for this past week that you guys had, or do you want to round the episode out?
I'm down. I'm good to round it out.
I'm gonna assume that's a yes
I,
from
It's just,
Toe.
yeah,
Okay.
Discord's been having issues.
All right. Well, yeah. Thank you guys for watching. If you check the links in the Discord, well, in the YouTube description below for the Discord, website, Twitter, TikTok, all the other stuff. It's all down there in the description. And if you want to comment in the box below and just let us know any improvements we can make for the cast. Anything really. I'm sure league staff will take suggestions and comments as well if they wanted. But yeah, just let us all know. And yeah, have a good one. Uh, I've been your host, Xmat, and I've been joined by
I've been your co-host, Destiny.
and I'm so
the special managerial guest.
something like that.
Goodbye, guys.
Like.
See ya.